From the day that I graduated with my Bachelor of Arts degree in interdisciplinary studies and became a teacher, I knew I would someday go back and attain a master's degree. The problem was I wasn't sure in what field of study I wanted to earn a master's degree in. I teach all subjects because I enjoy doing so. I enjoy learning about new ideas and concepts in science, in social studies, math, and language arts, so it was hard for me to choose one concentration area to earn for my master's degree. I teach 5th grade special education collaborative class in a Title I school, and our students have been struggling with reading and scoring low on state assessments for years. Every year, it was the same thing. I started to ask myself, why is this occurring? I realized quickly that reading is in everything we do. Every subject requires reading, and each subject requires different skills to be successful. I started to realize that it wasn't that my students didn't understand the concepts of a subject, that they were struggling with the reading content, deciphering through the academic vocabulary, and answering long, tricky questions on assessments. That is when I decided I wanted to know more about the process of reading and how reading begins with children. There are a large amount of gaps on my campus, but I know this is an issue throughout our district, state, and nation. Choosing to earn my Master's of Arts in Education with a concentration in literacy education will not only help my students within my classroom, but I can help teachers on my campus. I want to bridge the disconnect from the primary grades to the intermediate grades. We all need to understand that the gaps are occurring because the dots are not being connected early on. Each grade level is worried about their standards that need to be covered and not looking at the bigger picture. The socio-political nature of education. Our country's origins were to create a home for a diverse group of people. These were people escaping religious persecution or to gain wealth, people looking for a new start because in their country they were considered different. The point is, this was a place for people to feel free to be themselves and to leave their oppressive situation. The irony is, here we are today in 2017, and certain freedoms, persecution, and inequitable rights still occur. I believe to change this, it needs to begin in our schools. It first begins with us recognizing there is a problem and that action needs to be taken to change it. As informed educators, we need to make sure we advocate for all students of all backgrounds, ethnicity, cultures, language differences, gender differences, and socioeconomic status. I advocate for my students by making sure to meet students where they are in any situation and start our learning process from there. I realize that with such a diverse group of students, I can't do this alone. Moran suggests that this is why we collaborate, because we can't all be experts in everything. I depend on my team, our school specialists, teachers from other grade levels, and administration. I value collaboration and invite others' opinions. I do not view students in my classroom as my students, I view them as our students. Somewhere on campus, someone has formed relationships with my students and previously worked with them before I did. I need their knowledge to make my students successful. School funds need to be distributed equitably throughout public schools. All students should have equitable access to resources and materials to meet their educational needs. Students need to be provided with knowledgeable teachers who strive to push their students with challenging curriculum. The curriculum must include materials for diverse populations and value our ESL student cultures and languages. There are many barriers that we need to break down to close the achievement gap that Latson Billing speaks of, and it begins with the acknowledgement that inequality is still occurring in 2017. Key aspects of foundational theories in ILT. In order to start breaking down the barriers in our educational system, teachers need to be knowledgeable of foundational theories to create meaningful lesson plans and projects to meet the needs of all students. Students come to us at many different levels. As professionals, we cannot assume that just because a student is in 3rd grade that they can read, write, speak, and understand at a 3rd grade level. The foundational theories of behaviorism, cognitivism, and social constructivism can provide a framework for teachers to help construct student knowledge. Students could come to us with emotional and behavior needs that must be met. Being in a collaborative special education classroom, I have students that come with many different behavior needs. Some have behavior intervention plans in place. Some exhibit high emotional needs and anxiety. With these students, I use Skinner's theory of behaviorism and reinforce positive behavior with immediate feedback. I believe that all students need feedback, but some more frequently than others. Many times I have students who cannot move to the abstract thinking of a concept. Jean Piaget's theory of cognitivism suggests I start with the concrete before the abstract. I use Piaget's concepts often in math. Students come at different levels in math, and many still need to use manipulatives to visually see the math occurring and can aesthetically use the materials to learn. Some students need extra assistance from me or from their peers. Vygotsky's theory of social constructivism suggests they need to be met within their zone of proximal development and provided with scaffolding to reach their next level. I use this theory most in guided reading groups. We read and discuss different books together on a student's level. My goal is to move them forward in reading by teaching specific strategies. This is a scaffolding method because one strategy is the foundation to the next. Not only do students receive assistance from me, but from their peers as well. With such a variety of needs, understanding the foundational theories of education can help me better understand my students and guide them in the direction they need to be successful. Key theories with respect to diverse educational context. Being an educator in the 21st century means not only using foundational theories to reach students' needs, but changing our approach using new learning theories too. Technology, collaboration, and hands-on activities are needed for students to be able to construct knowledge. Using theories such as Lev and Wenger's situated learning and Papert and Harel's constructionism within the classroom provides students with an opportunity to make real-world connections to their learning. Learning doesn't happen in isolation. Students need to interact and participate within the community. They need to be provided with chances to learn with their peers in topics they are interested in. To become critical thinkers, they need experience to tackle a problem and try to solve it with hands-on materials. They learn by making. Within my classroom, we use project-based learning often. Using this type of approach not only allows the foundational theories to take place to construct learning, but the new theories as well. Within a problem-based learning environment, students are collaborating to try and solve a problem. They are using all different modes of learning, including technology, and they construct their knowledge along the way by creating an actual project. Students are engaged and motivated. Using this model lends itself to being interdisciplinary. Within my degree plan, I will be certified as a reading specialist, so I will need to conduct professional development at some point. As professionals, we can't forget about the often overlooked adult learners. Andragogy understands that adults are not children and should not have information conveyed to them as children would. Adults are self-directed learners who know what information they want, and they want to use that information immediately. Assess how key foundational theories address diverse learners. To address the needs of diverse learners, we need to draw from more than just one learning theory. Lessons need to be engaging, relevant, and inclusive to meet the needs of students. No longer is education where a teacher stands in front of the class using direct teaching and lecturing. The teacher's role is to facilitate the learning. In a 21st century classroom, students need to be utilizing technology to find meaning and content in a way that makes sense to them. Prinsky states that we needn't have to be masters of the technology, but let go of the control and let students teach us how to use it. The teacher needs to provide the necessary guidance, materials, and resources to let students construct their knowledge. Critical reflection. Being a teacher within a special education collaborative classroom, I need to provide an inclusive classroom. I need to help students not only learn the content of school, but to be tolerant and accepting of the differences we all bring into the class. Not only accepting the differences of students with special education needs, but the different cultural and linguistic diversities, along with embracing students that are part of the LGBTQ community. I believe in an interdisciplinarity approach. Separating subjects and putting time limits on them doesn't make sense to students. The content doesn't blend when we compartmentalize it. One thing I have learned in this class, and honestly it is hard to accept, is white privilege. Anyan's article opened my eyes to locations of schools and social class that can make a difference on what you become in life. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the one who holds a student back due to their culture, socioeconomic status, or their ability. I want to be the one to demonstrate for them that with the right guidance, they can be anything they choose to be. Plan of action. This course has reopened my eyes to foundational learning theories that I haven't thought of in a while throughout my teaching career, such as Skinner, Piaget, and Vygotsky. It has taught me about new theories to utilize in my class moving forward, like Levin-Wenger's situated learning, Papert and Harrell's constructionism, and Knowles' andragogy. Using a variety of learning theories and making sure to provide an equitable classroom for all, I need to implement a plan of action with my newfound learning. One of my goals is not to prejudge my students. I will not judge my students on their special education labels, the interventions they have received, their previous reading levels, their family history, and/or their standardized test scores from the year before. I will provide equitable access to all resources and materials within the school. I will make sure to provide hands-on activities, teach about acceptance, and provide content that shows a variety of different cultures. I will draw from different learning theories as a foundation for planning. I will integrate subjects and technology together. I will make sure my teaching is within a student-centered environment and preparing our future leaders.